North Korea has fired a ballistic missile over Japan for the first time in 5 years. Japan has taken various safety measures in response. The US has called Pyongyang's actions dangerous and reckless.
Imagine you're in a train and suddenly the alarms go off and you hear an announcement about missile firing. This is what happened to many travelers in the Sapporo region of Japan. North Korea fired a missile which fell into the Pacific Ocean after covering a distance of 4,600 kilometers. This is the first missile to be fired over Japan since 2017. Officials in Japan and South Korea say the missile is an intermediate-range ballistic missile. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida immediately condemned the firing.
Earlier, North Korea launched a ballistic missile that flew over Japan and is believed to have landed in the Pacific Ocean. The firing, which followed a recent series of launches by North Korea, is a reckless act, and I strongly condemn it.
The unexpected launch prompted Japan to take safety measures. Trains were suspended in the northern region. Many travelers were left waiting for the resumption of services. Authorities made loudspeaker announcements urging citizens to take shelter underground or inside buildings. Missile alert systems were activated.
Many missiles have been launched before. I understood the situation, but I had a hard time realizing what was happening until now. This time, the missile flew and the alarm went off for Tokyo's southern island and Hokkaido. The launching of the J alert really made me aware that the danger is real and close to me.
Sirens could be heard wailing in Japan's northern prefecture of Aomori. News channels across Japan covered the event. The missile firing also drew widespread condemnation. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol warned the North of a stern response.
North Korea's reckless nuclear provocation will face resolute response from our military as well as our allies and the international community.
The White House said in a statement that the firing is destabilizing, adding that it shows North Korea's blatant disregard for United Nations Security Council resolutions. Meanwhile, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke to the foreign ministers of Japan and South Korea. He emphasized on America's commitment to the defense of South Korea and Japan. He also reaffirmed the importance of close trilateral cooperation to maintain stability in the region. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Well, for more, let's go live now to Chris Gilbert, who joins me from Tokyo. Chris, what's the mood like now after those alerts that were sent out to citizens?
Well, things have calmed down a little bit in Tokyo. Now it's business as usual for many people after a very rude wake-up this morning with sirens and emergency alerts. People are used to receiving these during earthquakes, but not so much during missiles that are flying over their head. We've just also learned in the last hour or so reports that the United States and South Korea have responded to the launch by conducting bombing drills in the region. South Korea had warned it would have a strong show of force and response, and that may be it. Very interesting, considering that Pyongyang has suggested that the missile launch was in part in response to joint trilateral military drills by South Korea, United States, and Japan in the region. Another reason that they've said the launch was because it wanted to show a show of force about how far its new missiles can reach, 4,500 kilometers, the longest ever by a North Korean missile, and Pyongyang is suggesting that that Guam and the US military base there is now within reaching distance of its missile capabilities.
And Chris, we've had some pretty strong words coming out of Japan, but also elsewhere in the region and the Americans as well.
That's right. I mean, the Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida, came out immediately and he condemned the launch. He said it was barbaric and outrageous. The Japanese government, of course, has said that North Korea's ongoing missile tests in the region are destabilizing the area. But what further is to be done about this is yet to be seen. South Korea is warning that the North Koreans may be preparing yet another nuclear test before the end of the year. There are some significant world events coming up, China's 20th Party Congress, the US midterm elections, and South Korea is expecting that the North Koreans may try yet another nuclear test in between those two events. So there are strong words all around here, but what is really being shown is that tensions are really heightening in this region. Japan is still very securely under America's security umbrella. It has no military of its own. It wants to increase defense spending, and these ongoing missile tests may be adding real fuel to the government's argument for doing so.
Chris Gilbert live in Tokyo. Thank you.